Alright, now that we have the model completely rigged, so we can move it around, we can pose it the way that we want. We now need to make it in a way that we can actually animate it, and so it moves without we needing to move it like this. So for that, we are going for the animation tab. So I'm going to click here, and we have these screens, which basically means that this one here we are going to pose. So we are going to move the bones around. This one here is to visualize stuff, and this one here is where we are going to see the keyframes. And for that, I'm going to change it from dope sheet to action editor, because we are going to create a new action. Actions are places where we can add a bunch of keyframes, and then we can duplicate it to make some changes and things like that. It's very powerful. So I'm going to create a new one, and as we can see, it is called action. So Blender has a little bit of a problem with these actions here, because when we open it up, we see that it doesn't have anything here yet. But for example, if I click this X button and we take a look at this, now we see that the action has a 0 on it. It means basically that no other data block, no other object is using this animation. So when we save Blender, this is going to be gone. And if we want to keep a collection of actions, we need to keep at least one thing using it. And for that, we have this little shield here. So I'm going to click on it, and this one is called a fake user. So every time we change it, so we can close this guy here, that animation, that action is not going away when we save Blender, because there is a fake user. So it will always have at least one user. I'm going to click here, not on new, and select the action again. Nice. So to move around here, we can use, let's say, the mouse, and then we can come here and drag. We can drag this cursor, and then we are going to change what frame we are on. We can also use the arrows, and so the right arrow and then the left arrow. And one thing that I keep forgetting, but I can't forget, is to make this so you can see what I'm typing. So right arrow, left arrow, and so on. And if we want to go to the end of the animation, so we have here the start and the end of the animation, start being 1 and being 250. If I want to go to the end, I will hold shift and press the right arrow. If I want to go back to the start, I'm going to press shift and left arrow. And this way we can go to the extremes. If we have some keyframes, so here we are going to add a little keyframe, some keyframes to the head, just so we can see some other shortcuts. They are pretty useful. So I'm going to press, first here I need to select the head, so I'm going to press I, and then I will choose this location rotation scale. And then I'm going to move here along this timeline, and I'm going to place it on 40. You can place it anywhere. It's just to show you how to animate things and how to add keyframes actually. And then let's make a little change. So I want it to do like this. And then I'm going to press I again and location rotation scale. This way we have this animation here already. So we can scroll through these two keyframes, and we are going to see that it moves just like that. So here is basically your first animation, I'd say, if you were new to 3D. So at least your first animation in Blender. Then let's go back to the first one. So if I want to go to the next keyframe, So I don't want to go through all these keyframes. I want to go exactly to the next keyframe. I'm going to press the up arrow and then I will jump to the next keyframe. If I want to go to the previous keyframe, I'm going to press the down arrow. And there we go. So up and down, we can cycle through keyframes. All right. Now that we have a basic knowledge of how to add keyframes and things like that, so when we press I, we are going to see this keyframe menu. So we have a bunch of things, but we are going to use in this course just this one: location, rotation, and scale. Okay, so another thing that's pretty useful is the transformations that we can do here. So we can also transform things in the action editor. So if I select these keyframes here, so I can move it pressing G, then I can retime the animation, and I can also scale it like this. In this way, what is going to happen is it's going to use the cursor, this guy here, to act as the pivot point for the scaling. And well, here we are not able to rotate. As you can see, when we press R, we see these options here that we are not going to see in this course, but later it's pretty useful to organize your animation. All right, so that's basically it for the transforms in here. We most likely are not going to use it that much, but if you place your keyframes in a wrong place, you can always come here, select the first one here. It's going to select the entire column of keyframes, and then you can move it around like this. All right. So now that we've added keyframes, we need also to know how to delete them. And it's pretty simple. We select, press X, and delete keyframes. And that's it. So I'm also going to delete this first one. So I'm going to click here and then X, delete keyframes. All right. So I'm going to go back to the number one. And a little problem that we have here with actions is when you delete all the keyframes, for some reason you get out of the action. And I really don't know how to make it stop, but we need to go back to the action when we delete it. All right, now let's begin our actual animation. And this animation is going to be of Boybot turning on and then doing like a little show off, let's say, something like that. So for that, first we need to add some key poses. We need to add the poses that are important for this animation. And first one, since it's going to turn on, it needs to be turned off as in the start. So I'm going to get here and get out of perspective because it's easier for me to see things. And then we are going to add a pose here that looks like he's turned off. So I'm going to bring this the head down like this, and then rotate it like this and bring it back a little bit. So it is kind of facing down like this. All right. Another thing that I'm going to do is to bring the arms down as well, because at the moment this doesn't seem like it's turned off. So I'm going to select the arms right here and then rotate them in the way that they're going to be down. So like this, it should be good. I'm going to turn it all down and yep, there we go. So here we have our turned off pose. And then what we're going to do is to apply this pose as a bunch of keyframes. So I'm going to press A to select everything, I, and then location, rotation, and scale. And now we can see a lot more things than we had before. And that's because we have keyframes for all the bones. So here we have keyframe for the root, for the head, for the arms, and so on. And if we open it up, it will show even more keyframes. Because since we keyframed the location, so location X, Y, Z, the rotation, because it's a quaternion, we have 4 different curves, and they scale x, y, and z as well. So we are not actually going to go through all of it. We just need to set the pose correctly, and then the animation is going to be complete. So next pose that we need to do here is it turning on. So for that, I'm going to move this cursor here to the frame 21 because I want 20 frames from the first one, and then let's make it be in a way that's like it's standing. So I'm going to bring it up a little bit like this, and the head bring up like this, and also make the arms go back to the position. So because at the moment it's like going forward, so I'm going to rotate this one here. So I select that and rotate so it can be like hanging. And then I'm going to select this other arm here and rotate it so it's also kind of like hanging. This way it doesn't seem like the center of mass is actually aligned, so I'm going to bring it here. Yeah, that should be good. Now that we have the second pose, what we're going to do is press A, I, and location, rotation, and scale, like this. Alright, now we need to do the part of the show off, and this show off is going to be basically, he's going to make a step forward, and then he's going to raise the arms and lower the arms and open the hands, and then after that he's going back to the standing position. Okay, so for a step we have 2 key poses. One of them is the top, so the top of, let's say, the top of the step. So when the foot is on the top like this, and then we are going to have another key pose, that's when it is with the foot on the ground again. So let's do first the half step forward, which is going to be something like this. Let's grab the boot and then move it forward like this. That should do. And then we also should rotate the head back a little bit because it has weight. So when we move forward, things tend to be like going backwards. It's inertia, basically. So let me bring this guy here back, actually forward a little bit. And then since this leg, so this one is the right leg, is the one going forward, I want this one arm here to be going back. So this one go back, and then that one go forward, just so it keeps balance. There we go. So this way we have our second pose, so we can see here how it is, and it doesn't look bad. So okay, we can keep it like this. Then again, oh god, and here I forgot something. I need to change the keyframes before doing the actual changes, because take a look, when I move I lose all the things that I did. So let's do it again, but this time a little bit faster. So go into 41. Nice. And then again, let's go. Foot, half step forward, a little bit up. Head, going a little bit forward and then rotating back. And then the arms, they are going to be dragging behind this one, and this one is following the leg. So here, go forward, and there we go. This should do the trick. Okay, so now that we have all of it, press A and then I, location, rotation, and scale. Nice. So let's not forget to go to the next frame then. So go in here, I'm going to 61. Okay, now let's complete this step. So this one is going to be on the ground. So let me bring it here. Let's see. Don't worry about the leg kind of breaking. because we are still going to move the body forward like so. So this one can be, let's see, going back like this. Should be okay. And then let's get this arm here back hanging like this. And then this one I'm going to select and move it just a little bit so it has some animation in this section here. All right, now that we have our pose complete, press A, I, location, rotation, and scale. Perfect. Now we need to do the actual show off. So it's going to raise the arms and then open the fingers. Then again, let's move this one to AC1. Okay. Select the head because we are going up like this, and then rotate it forward and so it gets straight. And then we are going to bring the arms all the way up. So selecting all the bones here, and then R to rotate and move it up. Select all the bones here, R to rotate, move it up. And also, let's open the fingers. So I'm going to press R here, and then since I know it is the X that opens, I'm going to press X as well. So open it, or X to open, or X to open. And there we go. That's the first pose of our show off. So now that we have it, press A, I, and then location, rotation, and scale. Nice. Now we need to go down a little bit. So let's go to the keyframe 101. We can also change it from here, as you can see. So I'm going to change it 101. There we go. And now I'm going to bring him down a little bit. Move the head forward just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring the arms down, but halfway like this. Not all the way. So there we go. Select it, bring it down halfway. And I'm also going to rotate the hand. For this, we're going to press R, Y, because this way we can rotate it like this. And then press 180, so 180 degrees. And enter to apply. Same thing with this one. So R, Y, 180. There we go. If it's not working for you, that's most likely because you don't have it the same way I have it here. This one is normal, but it should be local. So let me change it back to local. And there we go. Now we have the second pose of the show off. So I'm going to press A to select everything, I, location, rotation, and scale. Nice. And last one, we are going to bring it up again and then close the fingers and rotate the hands back. So I'm going to click here and bring it up. Bring the arms up. So I'm going to select the arms, bring them up again like this. And for these three bones, I'm going to select these three. I'm going to press, oh God, and I forgot again. So let me go back here and to 121. And again, let's bring it up. So G, Z, oops. G, move it up like this. Select the arms, move them up. Select the arms, move them up. Select the three bones here, and then Alt R. And select these three bone here. Whoops. Select one that I didn't need to. So I press with Shift to deselect it. So Alt R again, and then they all go to the original rotation. Okay, now that we have this pose here, we are going to press A to select everything, I, location, rotation, and scale. Nice. And the last one, we are going to make it go back. So for that, we need to make it half step back, a half step back, and then go back to the standing position. So let's move it to 141 here this time. And then after moving that, we are going to just add the last pose, which we can copy from the, if I'm not mistaken, the frame 40. Nope, the frame 20. Yeah, we are going to be able to copy from the frame 20, 21 actually. So let's go back to 141 and then get the pose right. So I'm going to grab this guy here. Since we are going back, now we tilt the head forward and then we move it back a little bit like this. And oops, just a little bit more. And then we bring here the boot up. And that's basically it. No, actually not, because we need to get the arms halfway down now. So for that, I'm going to get it from here and then rotate just a little bit like this. And this one, the same thing. Rotate like this, so we have it halfway down. Nice. And now we just select everything, press I and location rotation and scale. There we go. And the last one, just like we said before, we can select here. So when we click this first one, so the summary, we select all the keyframes that's below. So now we can Shift D to duplicate, and then we can move this one all the way to the frames 161, like this. So let's check. Yeah, it is in the frame 161. And this way we have our animation complete. So to see it actually in action, we press space and then we see it moving. And there you go. That's the animation complete. Nice, it's looking pretty cool actually. I like it. Okay, so that's basically it for the animation. And just so we don't have too much time after the animation, let's change this end here to, I'm going to bring it down to 180. So like this. So from here, we can set the end to 180. And then we can play it again just to see if that's enough time. So, okay, and yeah, that should be good. So that's basically it. Here we can change to the material view just so we have a better idea of how it's actually going to be in the end. So shift left to go back to the first keyframe, space to rotate to run the animation. So there we go. Yeah, that's it then. In the next video, we are going to set things up so we are going to be able to create a video. So I'll see you in the next one.